Gas prices continue to rise as major companies warn of supply shortages that could grind the economy to a halt. But don't worry, Donald Trump is laser focused on bringing down prices and making life more affordable for working Americans. And I'm just you. He's been bragging about acing a dementia test. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. We all know that if there's one thing Donald Trump cares about, it's mental and physical well-being. I mean, look at him. The man is a specimen. He is in peak physical condition. Wait, sorry, I'm being told that's the gold statue of Trump at his golf course. Can we see the real Trump? There we go. The platonic ideal of masculinity. He has the coloring of Zeus and the posture of the Michelin Man. And we all know that in order to take care of your body, you must first take care of your mind, which is why Trump always takes great pains to let us know his brain be good. It be good. In fact, he's bragged about it twice in just the past week.
Anybody running for president or vice president should take a cognitive test. And no president has ever taken one except me. I've taken 3 of them, and I've aced each one. I took 3 of them, aced all of them, by the way. You know, I'm the only president to take a cognitive test.
Because no one else has had to. Whatever problems you might have with Barack Obama, no one ever thought, are we sure he can identify all 3 animals from these drawings? If anything, Obama's too normal. Dude's always showing up at basketball games, making Netflix movies, singing to children with Zohran Mamdani. I mean, there's no way Trump could sing The Wheels on the Bus. The best you would get is a 15-minute monologue about how wheels are good again after 4 years of bad wheels during the Biden administration. Children, I'm not lying. The wheels were not going round and round under sleepy Joe Biden, and the wipers were not going squish, swish, swish. I'll tell you that, but the kids were going, the babies were going, wah, wah, wah. The babies were sad that NATO wasn't paying their fair share. And for anyone thinking, hey, come on, man, he wouldn't say anything that dumb, he's actually said way dumber when it comes to wheels. Remember, this is a guy who thought it was a genius insight when he once noticed all the cars in the parking lot had wheels, which in his mind justified building a border wall.
They say a wall is medieval. Well, so is a wheel. A wheel is older than a wall. And I looked, and every single car out there, even the really expensive ones that the Secret Service uses, and believe me, they are expensive. I said, do they all have wheels? Yes. Oh, I thought it was medieval.
Just out of curiosity, when you asked someone, do all the cars have wheels, was that when someone said to you, hey, you want to take a cognitive test? You'll be the first president we give one to. And I'm sorry, why would the really expensive cars be less likely to have wheels? I mean, imagine if you had that conversation with a friend. Like, how worried would you be about them if you were telling a story and you said something like, so I'm in a parking lot full of cars, and then they interrupted and said, do they all have wheels? And you said, yeah. And then they said, even the expensive ones? I mean, the next thing you'd ask them would be like, do you by any chance smell burnt toast? Also, is it just me, or is Trump making news by announcing that he's now taken 3 cognitive tests? Because that hasn't always been the number.
I said, let me take the cognitive test, and I did. I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them. I've taken now 3 cognitive tests.
I think I know what happened here. He took the first cognitive test, and he passed it, and he thinks that makes him a genius. So now every time he goes to the doctor, he offers to take another one. Let's go again. If you guys want to know which one is the camel, I'm your guy. I mean, it's already pretty alarming to find out that the president's doctors keep giving him cognitive tests, but his description of the process is even more concerning.
When I got the score in the test, the doctor said, wow, I've never seen, you know, you have 5 doctors lined up, they're all over the place.
I'm sorry, so wait a minute. One doctor said, I've never seen that, and suddenly there were 5 doctors in the room? Usually that means you're about to have a disease named after you. Did you hear about Dorothy? No, what happened? They think she has thrombosis. Seriously, you have 5 doctors who are all watching you take a cognitive test and you're not concerned? If I go for a standard physical and my doctor calls in a second doctor, I immediately call my wife to say goodbye. So please just describe the scene. When this team of 5 doctors is watching you, are they wearing lab coats and standing behind glass? Do you have electrodes attached to your body? Are they giving you a puzzle to solve? Is the other patient in the room a gorilla? I remember Coco came up to me, big Coco, strong Coco. Tears pouring from her big brown eyes down onto her prominent teats. And she gave me one of these. She did this, and then she gave me one of these, and she gave me one of these. But I don't speak gorilla, so I don't know what she meant. But if it's concerning to you that the president has now taken 3 cognitive tests surrounded by teams of doctors, don't worry. He put us at ease with this astute observation.
Drug traffic coming into our country is way down. And by ocean, by the water, a lot of people say, what do you mean by sea? Is it sea, like vision? No, it's sea, S-E-A.
Off, not one person has said that to you. Not one person that says, what do you mean by sea? Mostly because by sea, S-E-E, isn't an expression. That's not another way to say you saw or recognized someone. How did you know that was your sweater? Oh, I recognized it by sea. By sea? When Paul Revere was on his midnight ride shouting, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, there wasn't one Boston ass saying, what do you mean by sea? You mean that looking at us? I'm fine with that. This is not the first time Trump has noticed the intricate spelling of a 1-syllable word and thought he was a genius.
You know how you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that before? I just picked that up.
I don't think any of us had to think of that. You just picked that up? Even the kids in the classroom with Obama knew that. But for some reason, Trump is just so proud that he knows words, the same words you learn in kindergarten.
You spell us, U.S. It's the S-E-A. Whole milk, and it's whole with a W.
So Trump clearly cares about mental health, which is why it's alarming that his health secretary is trying to make it harder for people to get access to antidepressants. Although RFK Jr. probably just wants people to take cognitive tests to prove their sanity like Trump.
The first question is very easy, and they always show the first question is, you have a lion, a bear, an alligator, and what's another good? A squirrel, okay? Which is the squirrel? The first question is very easy. It's a lion, a giraffe, a bear, and a shark. They say, which one is the bear?
Oh, man, when RFK heard that, his mouth was watering. That list sounds like the menu at his favorite restaurant. I have eaten all the animals. Giraffe meat is high in peptides, and squirrel meat is high in antitoxin. Shark meat is high in vitamin A. That's why I have such beautiful shark eyes. The point is, Trump cares about mental health, but he cares about physical health too, and he made that clear with a very important and very normal event at the Oval Office this week.
President Donald Trump is bringing back the Presidential Physical Fitness Award, reviving a once familiar gym class test for students across America. He held an event, as you can see at the White House today, with children and famous athletes.
The White House gets physical. President Trump brings back the Presidential Fitness Test Awards, and he brought out some dance moves.
I mean, in fairness, that dance is the closest Trump has ever come to working out. Makes him look like he's on an imaginary elliptical. The dancing was harmless. What might have been a little more concerning was what Trump chose to discuss with the kids in the Oval Office. He could have discussed the importance of mental and physical health or the importance of education. Instead, he thought it was a good time to discuss in detail the war with Iran.
We have to make a journey down to Iran to take the nuclear weapon. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Remember, we sent that beautiful B-2 bomber in, and we blew up their nuclear potential. It was obliterated. So we would have had an Iran with a nuclear weapon, and maybe we wouldn't all be here right now. I can tell you the Middle East would have been gone, Israel would have been gone, and they would have trained their sights on Europe first and then us, because They're sick people. These are sick people. And we're not going to let lunatics have a nuclear weapon. The power of a nuclear weapon is something I don't even want to talk about. It's not going to happen. And we have beaten them badly. They're talking, now they're reduced to little boats with a machine gun on the front of them because they had a navy of 159 ships. Every single ship in the first week was, right, Pete? Every single ship they had is resting underwater, right? At the bottom of the sea. They have no navy. It's totally wiped out. Same thing with their Air Force. So we're doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're doing real well. Those poor kids have never been more bored by here or by sea. This is why many families have a rule that grandpa's not allowed to babysit. Yeah, he turned off Paw Patrol and made him watch Platoon again. They gotta learn. Seriously, why is he so weird? I mean, let's compare Trump's behavior around school children to Obama and Mom Donnie.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks.
Of course, it would be nice if instead of bragging about dementia tests and other stuff, this president spent his time talking about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for working Americans, but that stuff is boring, and that's why when it comes to his polling, he's in a very big
Hole.
But spelled how? This has been A Closer Look.